This episode of the Kintsugi Podcast is brought to you by Pause, Breathe, Reflect, which can help you bring mindfulness to your everyday moments. Hey there, it's Michael. Welcome to Friday, my fellow like-hearted humans. On Fridays, I like to share a moment with you to pause, breathe, reflect before you slide into the weekend. I started my practice over 20 years ago when I was feeling completely overwhelmed. I knew I had to slow things down. So I started my practice. And I called it Pause, Breathe, Reflect. And the reflect element was essential because it created space for me to practice gratitude and set my intentions on what kind of ripple I wanted to ripple into the world. When I left the hospital, I continued my studies, discovered MBSR, and became a qualified teacher. And now, I love sharing the value of mindfulness with humans all around the world through the Kintsugi Podcast and our app. So we can change our relationship with stress, sleep better, and bring mindfulness to our everyday moments. So mindfulness can be a way of living as opposed to some transactional thing we do during our morning routine. So if you're ready, let's do a short practice together. As we come into a new year, it's usually filled with new year, new you, time to level up, and New Year's resolutions. There's a lot of hype, a ton of noise, and it can feel like we've had a quiet week in between Christmas and New Year's, and now we're hopping on our hamster wheel with much more gusto as we begin the new year. That's why I like to balance all this noise out with some quiet, a chance to be contemplative, to reflect. Tomorrow, I'm going to host a half day, because we believe in small steps, a half day silent retreat, which you can join. It's only 4 hours. And it's a great way to start the new year. It's a good countermeasure to all the noise that's currently out there. In this spirit, our practice this week will be lightly guided. And if you find that you're human and your mind wanders, which it will, simply notice and come back to your breath. Simply begin again. So if you're ready, let's settle into a comfortable posture. You can be seated. You can also lie down. Remember, there's no perfect way to do this thing called meditation. So get into a comfortable position for you. And as you do, you can close your eyes, or you may wish to keep them open. And we'll drop in. We'll begin with a few generous inhales, breathing up fully through your nose if you can. And then release the breath slowly. Give yourself permission to slow down and relax the body, especially with all the noise that's out there. Allow yourself to come in to this moment. And then when it feels right to you, settle in to the normal rhythm of the breath. Resting your attention on wherever you feel the breath the most. It could be right above your upper lip, perhaps in your chest, or maybe your belly. This can be your touchstone, a place to rest your attention. And if your mind wanders off, congratulations. You, my friend, are human. Simply notice and come back to the breath. Simply begin again. Each time you get pulled away, notice and without judgment, come back to the breath and begin again. All right, nice job. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes if you've had them closed and wiggle those beautiful fingers and toes. And maybe give your body a little stretch. I hope you appreciated this moment just to be with your breath, a moment of quiet. And I hope you'll join us tomorrow for our half-day silent retreat. And I'll put the link in the show notes. It's the place to go to save your spot and learn how a little quiet can help you ripple something worth rippling into the world. I hope you enjoyed this moment to slow things down. And if you found it valuable, I hope you'll share it with a friend. You can find other practices like this one on our Pause, Breathe, Reflect app. And you can find the app wherever you happen to find apps. And you always have an open invitation to join one of our live practices throughout the week with other like-hearted humans. It's a space where everyone belongs, regardless of who you voted for, where you live, how much money you make, who you love, and if you pray. So I hope you'll join us. The only thing we ask is that you bring a loving heart to our space. On Tuesday, I'll share another inspiring story of connection with you on the Kintsugi Podcast. Until then, have a meaningful weekend and ripple something worth rippling into the world.